How are you finding building a community around Zarf? Have you had much uptake, and what have you been doing to make that happen, and how's it been going?
Yeah, I'd say it's been a lot of fun. It was kind of my first experience building an open source community and seeing how that works. So I did a lot of reading from some of the Mozilla stuff. They have some community contribution guidelines and some of the tips and tricks that they've learned about reviewing PRs in 48 hours, and if you wait for 7 days or whatever, then the contributor's not likely to come back and stuff like that. And it's been fun to kind of go through those things and sort of see what happens, when people try to contribute and whatnot, and what's the balance of building a community, building a product, obviously still taking care of business needs, and kind of managing all this stuff together. One of the things that we found some success with, which was cool, but we also had to kind of pull back a little bit from, was like creating good first issues with Zarf. I used to joke that they're kind of bait a little bit. Like, you just, like, I would tell the team, like, steer clear of this issue. It's not really that big for us, but like, we're just going to put it out there. We're going to label it as good first issue and see if somebody comes along and swims along and picks it up. And so that was cool to see people actually come and pick up some good first issues and then start to be involved in the community, and then grow it from there. And you have to be careful of, like, some certain things. Sometimes people see something and then they'll want to contribute, and it could drag your backlog down, and you have to manage that and have to figure out like how all of it like actually winds up flattening out in the end. But yeah, it's definitely been a lot of fun.
Have you done much in the way of presentations or anything at various events to pull in more industries? Because
Yeah.
critical infrastructure in general, right? There's lots of I'm in telco currently, and so there's clearly a need for doing air gap and that kind of deployment and monitoring in the telco industry. I can think of several other industries off the top of my head in the same boat. So getting that word out that that's what you're doing with Zarf. How's that gone?
That's gone pretty well. So I did a talk at Cloud Native Security Con with SpaceX, actually, which was one of
Cool.
the customers we worked with for software development in the air gap. And that was definitely a fun talk. I actually got to talk to some of the Artifactory folks, because we were talking about Conan and how that affects the C ecosystem, and really how SBOMs in certain ecosystems like the C ecosystem can be difficult depending on what package managers you have and different things like that. And I actually used rigs of rods as an example during that talk. So that's circling back to everything, because it's a C
Nice.
app. So that was fun. But yeah, it's been interesting to see how people can kind of like pick certain things up and start doing things with them. It's been fun to see people all around the world really like see Zarf and then find use cases for it. And sometimes it's like not even ones you'd expect. Like there was like a metaverse game that picked up Zarf. I still don't entirely know like what all they were doing with it, but it's fun to sometimes like see who these GitHub people that show up are, and then like try and track what projects they're actually part of. And then be like, oh, okay, they're starting to use Zarf. That's kind of interesting. And then sort of learning more about their use case and what they're doing with it.
Yeah, that's always been part of the funnest stuff that I've done in working with projects. Is you get the folks that are there in an entire different industry or an entire different use case that you never would have thought of for your
Right.
application. Go, oh yeah, this is something we can use. Yeah,
Hmm.
that's always fun.
Yep.
Yeah, we had conversations around these topic areas on the podcast too. Like I think it was with Jim Hall, the creator of the Free DOS project, and the project is turning 30 this year, and well, turned 30 on what, June 29 or something like that. And he was telling us about all the use cases that popped up over the years, and like how someone booted a machine from a vinyl record, or
Oh,
like how someone broke into like a train control system somewhere and like booted like they were showing the screen as the system was booting, and there was free DOS, and he was
mhm.
like, that's pretty cool. And yeah, he was saying the same things, that like all the use cases that no one ever thought of when they created the project, and how that really just takes the ecosystem at large on a different level, and how that keeps your project going. It's just super interesting.